Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the SplashCast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports.
My bad, y'all. 3, 2, 1, smile. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 185 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. Norwood's birthday. Yeah.
Barely holding on, man. Let me tell you, I may have drank every mimosa in the city of Houston yesterday. Shout out to my sister Shan, showing me a wonderful, fantastic time. And you go out drinking with women and you drink hibiscus mimosas and lavender mimosas. And then there's a blood orange mimosa. And so, yes, place to place to place. And then by the end of the night, you're like, hey, I guess I have an old fashioned for no apparent reason. Boy, talk about hurt.
And is that the first end of the night or the second? Because normally when that happens and you start early, you think you're done and then you end up somewhere else.
That was the second. That was the we went out to eat. Then I was like, all right, well, I want to change, and I changed, and then we went back out, and it was like, boy, it was everything at once.
Yes, sir. Well,
and
glad you're here.
Glad we're here, to say the least.
I'm glad we're here. I am excited. We got a few things we're going to talk about, HBCU news around the culture. Let's get into it. You can't tell, I am in a 12-round heavyweight boxing match with that yellow man called Pollen. And I am congested, but we're going to push through. We're going to make it.
Episode 186, barely holding on.
Ooh, it's definitely 196. My bad. Barely holding on. Let's start out with, we're going to run through these HBCU quick hits until we get to Norfolk State. So first up, North Carolina A&T wins back-to-back cheer championships. Another case of you shouldn't let us in. You didn't let us participate before. You let us play now. And North Carolina A&T has won 2 in a row. And when I tell you they are excited, and shout out to the alum. Shout out to Levon. Shout out to the folks that went to A&T that took their families, the alumni traveled to support this team. Kudos to y'all, man. Congrats.
Yes, congratulations. And once again, bring the band. I don't care if it's a cheerleading championship. Bring the damn band. Bring the band. I want y'all to see, here's so many HBCU bands that you get sick of us. You already stealing the music anyway, LSU. We despicable, but yeah. So bring the band, so they know where. At least you should know. You know where it came from. If you're gonna steal it, know you stole it from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to A&T, man. Winston-Salem State wins the inaugural CIAA Flag Football Championship. Happened over the weekend. Fantastic for them. We talked about them a while ago, how they started the CIAA Flag Football Championship, and I believe other leagues are going to follow suit. Very, very, very entertaining. I saw some of the highlights. Hey, man, these women know how to play, dog. They know how to play.
I want every HBCU to have a flag football team. You have at least 16 girls who can play football. It's flags. There's a field, I'm sure. It's cleats and a jersey. Make it happen. We need it.
Yeah, why not? It could be another
It'll be a low barrier to entry. You don't need some footballs. That's it. And let me tell you, the football, give them the old footballs that the football team ain't using no more. I don't care. Make it happen for them. Give the ladies the opportunity. They 100% deserve it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2 hirings happened. Bobby Rome makes history as the new head coach of Chicago State University. It's their new football program. I believe it's their inaugural season. So He's an HBCU veteran, and now he is leading Chicago State's football program. So shout out to Bobby, man. Go make history.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to Coach Rome. It feels really good to see different HBCU coaches come from different places, go either starting a new program. You're going to be the first guy ever. You'll always be remembered. We also have Coach Huff that just went to Southern Methodist. You got Coach Simmons, who was at FAMU and I think is at Florida Atlantic now. There are a lot of guys coming from the HBCU ranks who are doing really good.
Yeah, finally getting some respect and some notoriety, man. So again, shout out to Bobby Rome. Speaking of coaches being hired, Patrick Crarey was hired as the men's basketball coach at Grambling, which is weird because he was just hired as FAMU's basketball coach last year. I guess it's not weird because of all the turmoil they had, right?
Right. It's congratulations to him, number one. FAMU, the turnover that is going on at your university is surely putting you in a unique position. Y'all are fighting for your lives. Now, with that being said, I guess it makes only perfect sense to go to the next part of this. Kyle O'Quinn retires from pro basketball and returns to NSU as the executive director of the athletic advancement.
Yeah. Norfolk State has been. This might be the best offseason in the history of the MEAC for school. They won the MEAC tournament in basketball, in men's and women's.
Correct.
They hired Mike. They extended the coach for the men's basketball team, who is probably the best coach, till 2032. It's 2025. 7 years. It's unheard of in black schools. They come. We just talked about it. They come and get us when they see talent.
Right.
They hired Michael Vick as the head football coach, who's from Norfolk, from Newport News.
Yeah,
from
please
Norfolk.
don't.
Don't want to get that wrong. From Newport News. He's from Virginia. He's from the 7 cities. He's back home, and he's already recruiting and getting people, big time players. And now they hire Kyle O'Quinn. You don't know who Kyle O'Quinn is. He is a former Norfolk State basketball player that led them to their first NCAA championship win. They made it to the round of 32 after they knocked off number 2 Missouri as a number 15 seed after winning the MEAC. He is now back as the executive director of athletic advancement. You're starting to see more and more players and former players go back to their schools or go back to their alma maters and take some type of role. With the way that NIL and in sports is now becoming more professional or semi-professional, you're starting to have more professional and semi-professional positions being formed in the athletic department. And this is one of them. He's probably one of the most likable and kind alums from Norfolk State. He's known everywhere, and he's respected in the NBA. So this is a home run hire for me. Home run hire.
This is a war chest of really good assets. If you're the athletic director right now, this is like the equivalent of drafting Caitlin Clark. All my sports are hitting right now. Life is all I got to do is manage, and go seek opportunities to make some money. Where can we get some sponsorship money? Where can we get some NIL money? But I have so many qualified and well-known people. And just by way of, there are going to be a ton of people on campus that you were not getting on campus before. Just wasn't happening.
The notoriety by itself. I mean, you're right.
Hey,
that notoriety is going to be crazy.
I'm going to tell you, heavy is the head. One thing about a car is when it's fast and it's big, you got to control it. You got to manage this car. You got to make sure that you're driving in the right direction. They've given you everything that anybody could ask for. Make hay while the sun shines.
And
Fam,
now it's definitely good. Fam got. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. That if you lose that basketball coach, it's the equivalent of they're basically just starting anew. Don't they have a new football coach, new athletic director, new basketball coach now.
You remember
they just scrubbing it.
Tiffany Dawn Sykes, she's out of there. She went to, I think she's back at Virginia Union, where I think she started her career or something like that. She got to Giddey once things start going left. And I hate to bring up the whole fake check from graduation, but
why? Y'all
because you know me, I don't really like him. I don't really like embarrassing our people, but
man, the man said he gonna give y'all $230-something million and he had no teeth. And not the no teeth where like it's all dentures. He was just missing the 4. You mean you could give me millions of dollars, but you can't get no porcelain teeth?
Right.
No dentures, no nothing.
You could have bought some teeth out of somebody else, man. They would have put them in there.
So yeah, when that came up, I was like,
I think they took a lot of embarrassment on that. I ain't got no answer for that.
They stepped over it though. They ain't really comment on it either.
I will say
it is what it is.
They are to be in crisis for this long. They've done pretty good about it. The problems have arisen, but they haven't. They've been able to keep on moving forward. And I mean, I don't have any answer for that other than congratulations. Like that ain't the easiest thing to do. And you did it. So I give you credit for it, but they say the Lord gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. Well, he believes in y'all. Let me tell you.
Yeah, boy, y'all got some milk and honey on the horizon. I don't know how far the horizon is gonna be.
Help me, Lord, help me, help me. You know how tough it's got to be to go to work and every day it's a new trash can on fire, bro. The money ain't never coming. Oh, this person hate this person. He quit. She didn't quit. Bruh, stop. You have been at work and just like, stop. Everybody stop. Don't move.
Team building. We going on team building.
No, I'm going to whoop somebody's ass. That's going to be the team building. This has gone too far. We are out of control. Yeah, man. Somebody.
No, I mean, no pun intended, but y'all better get it together, fam. It's rough.
Get it together, fam. It's terrible. Ain't true.
But ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the HBCU news around the culture. Make sure you remember to like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend. We're going to take our drink break. We're going to go get a drink, beverage, birthday beverages, and we'll be back to talk about some hoops, WNBA, NCAA, not at all, and Hawks and NBA.
Fair enough. Yep, give us about 3 to 5 minutes, get this thing running and rolling, and we'll be right back. Right back.
Hey, SplashCast fans, are you ready to take your obsession to the next level? Join the SplashCast community on Instagram and our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow SplashCast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Got
the burp cloth up there, Lord. You know I'm Dan now here.
That man is a black father. That man is a black
father. Man, we are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for our basketball segment of Norwood's birthday episode. You got your drink ready, brother? Margarita. I got the Mar.
A Southern Blossom.
We can do brewski. Whichever one you need me to do.
Southern Blossom. Shout out to Bart, the Bartesian. That's what I've affectionately named him. Holding it down, making the drinks, making them fantastic and magical. We are here.
of them things.
39. We are at a point now. We say everything other than happy birthday. I didn't seen happy solar return day.
That's the Josh shit.
I've seen that.
No, Josh is Womb Liberation Day.
Yes, Womb Juice Liberation Day, Womb Liberation Day, Happy Elliptical Day, everything. And I appreciate all the wishes, number one. But
happy birthday, brother.
Yes, the lexicon.
Well, you also heard fuck your birthday too.
Yes, that
you started that tradition.
Yes, I enjoyed that one as well. All of them are good because the other alternative is bad. So take your W's where you can get them and get those all the time. With that being said, let's actually drink the drink, right?
Yes, sir. Strawberry Marg over here. Just let y'all know.
I ain't gonna lie, this Southern Blossom is really good. That's the thing about, and I'm just tell y'all a little bit about the partition. Shout out to my sister-in-law, Tiff, for getting me one. It's about finding the right ones with the right capsule, crack cocaine, and that's no game. I mean it. I for sure mean it when I tell you. With that being said, let's start. Let's start with Paige. Paige Bueckers has signed a 3-year deal with the Women's Basketball League Unrivaled. She only paid like $350,000, which I think is more than her per year, which is more than her entire rookie contract. Also, really good news, she was drafted first by the Chicago Sky. You're right. That is the same Chicago Sky with Camila Cardozo, with Angel Reese. Excuse me. That's not true. That's Haley Van Lith.
She was drafted by the Dallas Stars.
Stars, correct. Who have Jewel Lloyd, if I remember correctly. But congratulations on being number one. I hit refresh by 18,000 times because it just said on the clock. And I'm like, y'all on the clock that long now. We knew who was going to pick first. So go ahead and get to picking. But congratulations to her also. Haley Van Lith drafted 11 to the Chicago Sky. I'm telling you, women's basketball is about, I don't want to say they're about to be in like, I think this is the beginning of them really taking off to a new stratosphere. Because you already got to be really good because there's just not enough spots. And now the players are so good and gifted.
Well, first off, shout out to women's basketball for paying attention to men's basketball and what not to do. They have created a second stream of income that keeps the players here versus having to go play overseas. By this unrivaled league, they're getting paid 4 times as much as their contracts. So she comes out the gate with 2 jobs. By leaving college and coming into the and declaring for the draft and playing the women's basketball unrivaled league, she has 2 jobs, which is what any person coming out of college would want. And why I say they're doing what the NBA.
You know what's better than 1 job, son? 2 jobs.
That's that Uncle Leotis.
Right.
But when I say they studied NBA and what not to do, I'm going to bring this up every single time because they're doing the exact same thing that he said he proposed. Ice Cube proposed the Big 3 be under the NBA umbrella and that you could then incorporate your veterans or incorporate your players that don't. It's basically another umbrella. Like the G League, you have the Big 3 with the dynamic of keeping your legends in shape and plugged into basketball while also having the NBA. WNBA took it further and brought unrivaled and took the current players and said you could play in both. And the WNBA was like, cool. Like, it is what it is. So shout out to women's basketball for learning what not to do because the NBA dropped the ball by not including Ice Cube, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they're going to pay for that, I think, at some point. I still don't like that after you made the mistake, you didn't go back and try to fix it. You just left it. And he's called y'all out for not playing ball with him. And Ice Cube is a legend. Yeah, and that's the other part. It is the actual lack of help and assistance with a guy who's trying to help you do something and do it well. I think this nasty work personally.
It is. It is. It is.
And,
Some news out of South Carolina that I was not
and
expecting.
right. Hold on. You gotta find it. Bear with us. Well, I upload this because I was heartbroken. Heartbroken. I could not believe this when Reggie first did it. I mean, when Reggie first posted in the group, I guess I missed it, and
Yeah, I
then
posted
I
it
came
twice.
back right, and I was
I
like,
was like,
"Ain't no
hey,
way." And
she is
quietly,
Dawn's favorite. There it is.
my favorite, y'all. If y'all listen to the show, I talk about it. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to lead anymore. Milaysia Fulwiley, unfortunately, will be entering the transfer portal, leaving South Carolina. She's probably been she's my favorite player for the last 2 years. I think that she has an undeniable handle. I know that Dawn had some issues with getting her on the floor. I know she was on the second unit. I just love the way she plays basketball. Sometimes you got to go somewhere else for it to work out. We're a full support of her, and wherever she goes, I'm going to be a fan there. What do you have to say, Reg?
Dawn seemed kind of hurt by this. I think she tweeted out a birdie just flew away from the nest. Y'all remember? I think Milaysia Fulwiley is from South Carolina.
She is.
So to be her to be from South Carolina and leave South Carolina, where the University of South Carolina doesn't really lose their top players. They may lose players that feel like they deserve more playing time that are at the end of the bench. No shade, but because they're just stacked, it's really difficult to get on the floor.
Right.
And Fulwiley, for whatever reason, she decided to enter the portal. I'm assuming it's got to be partially financial. Like,
oh no. I know exactly why she left, and this is the reason right here. Ta'Niya Latson, yes, is the reason. Ta'Niya Latson led the NBA. I mean, not the NBA, the WNBA in scoring last year, and I think that kind of was the nail in the coffin that it's going to be tough for you to get on the floor, and you probably don't want to come with the bench anymore, especially the way that things, are just going right now. I can go somewhere else and play. I hate that this had to happen. If you are going to lose somebody that I love that much on the basketball court, this was an excellent pickup to make things okay. At the end of the day,
I haven't had a chance to say this in a little while. Westlake.
What?
She went to Westlake. She and Raven Johnson, who is the starting point guard for South Carolina, she and Raven Johnson played at Westlake together, and she is now transferring to rejoin her backcourt mate, who I hope to replicate the dominance that they had in high school, where they were the number one team in the nation and won 3 straight state championships.
Well, you're going
Westlake
to death.
Hey, my fault.
And,
better.
And you're right. I can't be mad. I can't be mad about it. I mean, yeah, you're right. Just create athletes from everywhere. Congratulations, Milaysia, wherever you go, we still in full support. Know that.
Always. Yeah. I think Don will support you too. I don't think Don holds grudges.
Me either. And I mean, for what? She helped you win a championship still. I mean, at the end of the day, we got a chip.
He should have got, I ain't gonna say should have, because UConn's UConn, but they made it further this year than I think a lot of people thought.
Right. And this team was, number one, you lose all of your stars damn near every year to the WNBA. And then it's just a matter of time before it's just not enough. And I mean, that's life sometimes. We get it. Sometimes you need to go somewhere else to get an opportunity. The play style might not be the most conducive for what Milaysia is. And I'd rather see her go somewhere else and be successful otherwise. Like,
but
go
also,
find your next opportunity.
this Ta'Niya Latson signing is big because
Oh my God!
you just
Put y'all
made
on
a
the map.
point. You just made a point that I think is interesting because it's not the case this year. They lose their whole roster to the WNBA every year. This
Right.
year, I don't think they lost anybody. I got to go
Mm-mm.
back and look at the draft. I don't think, other than Fulwiley transferring, they may have lost a couple transfers, but I don't think anybody left. I think they got Pow back. I think they got got their front court back.
Right, and now you have a bona fide bucket.
So
bucket. So
uh,
you're right. You got to find
it's
different ways to
it's gonna be
stockpile
scary for y'all
assets.
next year. It's gonna be
Oh,
scary
yeah.
for y'all next year.
For sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of people no longer with their team, no. Mike Malone fired from the Denver Nuggets as the Denver Nuggets prepare to go to the playoffs. If I remember correctly, they're the 4th seed. This is wild.
They were 4 games away from going from the end of the season, and they fired him. Now, to be in context, they also fired the general manager,
Calvin Booth.
and it was reported that it was, and I'm not saying this, and I don't necessarily believe this because I think he's a scapegoat. They said it was over Russell Westbrook and that they were playing Russell Westbrook over the younger guys. Also, they said Mike Malone had some furniture moving in there when they told him he was fired.
Right,
Bro,
we're headed to the playoffs. What are you talking about? I'm fired. What do you stand like?
Tell y'all, I told y'all when they traded Luka, I said the floodgates are open now. There's no rules. There's no more rules. When I can trade Luka, who took you to the Western Conference Finals and got hurt, and I ain't gonna say that's the reason you lost, but that was a main contributor. And then I trade him in the middle of the season in which we are in the playoffs. We are in the playoffs. I think they're 5th or 4th seed or whatever he was. After he scored a 60-point triple-double and a 70-point triple-double. Once you could trade that, I was like, oh, well, anything can happen. And that's what happened the rest of the season. Anything happened all season. I was like, bro, this season.
This is number one. I got to look at this from an organizational point of view. You needed to fire your coach and your GM. We got to look at the people who made that decision. How do you get to this point in the season and realize, number one, this ain't working, and these guys are not getting along? So both of them were wrong. Oh, you look crazy. You look super crazy.
Well, it is said that they were trying to fire Mike Malone 2 years ago, and they messed around and won the championship. So then it was like, we can't fire you now because you won the championship. So then they gave him this year. But the relationship between the GM and the head coach had been bad for some years. And they were to the point where they weren't talking, and it created a toxic work environment is what they're citing.
Yes, but my thing is, you have like the group mediation. I think it at least stands to reason to keep one of the guys for the rest of the season. So if Mike Malone was never your guy and the only reason he was there is because he won a championship, then I'm going to rock with Calvin Booth. But if you're telling me that Calvin Booth wasn't doing his job and the coach wasn't doing his job, it means the leadership was picking the wrong people.
How can you say that and they won the championship?
Oh, I mean, we see winning a championship. That's a year, baby. And I think a lot of this is kind of mismanagement post championship. I think that, and I love Michael Porter Jr., but it costs too much money.
They already said they're not trading him. That came
right.
Now, of course,
which is the issue. I got a $50 million player that I cannot trade, who is the third option. Third option? Yes, for sure. Third option. I'm gonna be stuck. No, he's the third option. Jamal Murray averaged 21 points. MPJ averaged 18 points.
Yeah. But John Murray was also hurt a lot. That's why I said,
Right,
he's
but
the shooter. He's the spot up shooter. He's the spot up shooter of the team. A $50 million spot up shooter.
I can't pay you $50 million to do that. And you're forcing them both to be put in tough situations. Malone is like, bro, we know what a decent rotational player looks like now. Probably about $15, $20 million. That's all. That's 2.5 players. That's 8 Hunter getting paid like $20 million. That's 2 Hunters and a Terrence Mann. As good as Michael Porter Jr. is, he's not that good.
But you can't, I mean, if you feel that way, I'm assuming that the people that get paid to do scouting and all those things, a good majority of them probably have similar feelings. Maybe not as strong about him not being that good, but that's not a.
And I think that Michael Porter Jr. is a good basketball player. He's just not. Him and Trey are getting paid the same amount of money. As he ain't Trey level.
Yeah. They won the championship and he was hitting them shots, and they was like, all right, well, let's go ahead. That's the downside of go ahead and pay him, right? Because they thought he was going to ascend. They thought he was going to get better because he was shooting in the finals. He was bad in the playoffs, and then he got to the finals and he just ignited. And they were like, oh, okay, he's turning around.
The issue is the back injury. He don't have enough athleticism to really give you anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can shoot the rock. Great. You're a bucket, but you ain't really like a lockdown defender, and you expensive. You gotta help us.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing
realistically,
with you.
he's probably
you can't get rid of him.
Because of the contract. He's really a $35 million player getting paid $50 million. So now you got to look at somebody who trying to take on some salary. But if ownership tells you, oh, I'm a Missouri alum, so you can't trade him, what am I supposed? I can't fix this equation if you keep breaking it. And I'm also a firm believer, just because you got fired, that don't mean that's not a bad thing. I think that there are going to be tons of teams that are interested in Mike Malone. Grizzlies. He fits perfect.
What I hate, I'm doing this for every point, but I've been thinking about this since he got fired because of such a bombshell. Okay, you said all of those things about Mike Malone, and you think this is a bad move by the Nuggets and all of those things. What if they go on a run in the playoffs?
I don't know what that means.
What if they make it to the Western Conference Finals Game 7 and lose like Sacramento on a 3 at the end of the game by Kobe Bryant? Like
worst case,
worst
case scenario for them, because then you're like almost obligated to run it back
with the assistant coach that nobody knows anything about. But if they make a run, they are in a corner because you got to do it. And
that's the reason
you really need to upgrade this roster a little bit, but I don't know if you can.
You can't.
But if have Joker's Joker, and he could just decide, I'm going to do a triple-double, a 30-point triple-double every game in the playoffs, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, oh Lord. See, this roster makeup doesn't even make any sense. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Let me tell y'all. So Jamal Murray this year making $36 million. It's a little pricey, but okay. You know, next year he'll make 46, 50, 53. At 31, you're going to pay. I hate to say players are not worth it, but the way that the second apron is set up now I know you'll get a jump because of the TV money, but next year he's going to be 30% of the cap.
Orlando.
I'm not taking him. I don't want that. Not what number. I'm not giving him KD.
No. Bradley Beal on that team ain't bad.
Right. But then you still have to go out and find a point guard, though.
Sure. No, I mean yeah, by position, by roster.
Right. That's the reason I was like, you don't have to. You
We
got
just went through Trey leading the league in assists and number 3 was Joker.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Every
Traditionally, you are 100% correct. Give me 2 Bradley Beals, honestly. Let them both shoot. Everybody shoot. You're right. It's just, I guess.
That's not a bad move now.
It's weird. That's the thing. It's weird. It's just weird. That's it. But you could
Booker
100%.
Murray can pass better than Beal.
He's a facilitator. Murray's now. I just wouldn't want to pay that money. I wouldn't want to be stuck with that.
You're already paying it.
Yeah, but I mean,
KD gonna come off the books. KD gonna come off the books. Yeah, but KD wants $60 million.
Right. Now he wants it.
Where KD gonna sign for?
He's going to get it.
Detroit.
Okay, so
all right, we spiraling.
No.
Hey,
I do want to talk about this real quick because of course, we have all the DMV friends. KD to the Wizards.
I'm not mad at it. I said that last week. I threw it out there when the group chat, and y'all I don't know if it was during like a Trump tirade or something, but everybody just stepped on by it. And I was like, hey,
I think
that
the
KD
Wizards
to the Wizards with Alex Sarr and Jordan Poole, and then get like
no. Jordan gotta go. He gotta go. If
KD's not going to the Wizards. I'm not gonna rebuild the Wizards.
No, but
KD want to win the championship.
Nah, but I mean, you could. The thing that you're never in rebuild with KD. People are going to jump at the opportunity to go to KD. So in that case, you could get you a point guard once you get KD, because somebody like, he'll call him on the phone. Hey, you want to come play? Yeah.
Houston. I already told y'all. I've been had this conversation. Why are we doing this conversation? Houston is the answer.
No, hell no.
Houston is the answer.
I'm not blowing up what I got.
What do you mean blow up? Who do you mean blow up?
If I'm Phoenix,
who are you willing to trade to get KD from Houston? Dylan Brooks is one.
You think Matt Ishby you think he's gonna volunteer to let you rob him?
No, I'm not trading just Dylan Brooks, but they got picks. They got I would trade Jabari or Tari or Cam Whitmore, or they've got like 9 players. Y'all can go.
Jabari Smith,
KD,
Jabari
Jalen
Smith,
Green, Amen Thompson, KD.
No. You're talking about players who can't leave.
And a fifth. Fred VanVleet would have to go somewhere, and somebody at the 1. That's a crazy line.
You think I'm trading you Kevin Durant and I'm not getting Amen Thompson or Alperen Sengun back?
Yeah. I just named everybody else you can get. All of them plus picks.
No, I was born at night, but not last night, sir. If I'm giving you one of the arguable greatest players of all time, you're not giving me Dylan Brooks and a pack of pork rinds. No. I still have to keep Devin Booker happy. That's the other part. Devin Booker is not just going to be like, okay, let
this Carmelo himself.
It's tight.
Devin Booker should leave. He should leave. He should be a 2. He's the 2 that everybody's missing. Devin Booker in Orlando makes Orlando an Eastern Conference.
Oh my God.
And his contract is probably
if you're getting Devin Booker, then I demand
Franz. You can have anybody other than Paolo and Jalen Suggs.
No, I mean you can have Suggs. You just gotta go. I love you, dog. Suggs.
Okay. Well, then you can have 2 of those 3. Franz, Suggs, or one of those 2. Franz or Suggs. You or maybe both.
No,
I don't
you're
know.
gonna have to. It's gonna be both. It's for surely gonna be both.
But Paolo and KD is, I mean, there's
Stressful.
nothing you can do.
It's stressful.
That
But
is crazy.
honestly, nobody make no money over there. Honestly,
If they're gonna do it, this would be the year to do it.
It would take so much. Yeah, because I don't foresee that, but it's going to be interesting. Basketball should be exciting. Next up, not that one. And I told you so news. Zion Williamson gets David Griffin fired. I know that's not how this thing is supposed to read, but I've been saying this for a long time. Zion will get you fired. He's going to play in enough games for everybody to remember how good he might be and never played enough games to influence the season. That gets people fired.
I wish you had that graphic to show Zion has outplayed like the people that you never thought he would have outplayed since he's been in the league. Like I'll find it. Go ahead. I'll find it.
His stats are magical when he plays. He just doesn't play enough basketball for him to be a valuable asset, especially not a max contract.
The max contract, I agree. But he's played more basketball than you would think.
Oh, yeah. They talking about
I find it while you talk.
You talking about like Joel Embiid, sure. That's another situation for sure. But at the end of the day, Zion has never played he's never played enough basketball to influence a team having a successful season. And not moving that years ago is a problem. Oh, this year he played
Zion
30
has
games.
played more games since 2023 than Brandon Ingram, John Morant, and LaMelo Ball.
Okay, like all of those guys. Well, John Morant, I'm not gonna say he traded, but he close. He could be traded. If next season don't go well, I expect him to move on from John Morant. LaMelo,
I don't think it's off of him not playing games. Well, partially it is because they're playing, but it's because it's not injuries. It's just not playing.
No, he's been injured this season. He had some injuries, and then also he got sat down.
Chitty bang bang.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram, his ass got traded. Moved on. Had to go in a different direction. You're gonna be employed, just not here anymore, my guy.
And then the guy they replaced him with out for the season.
Right. That part you need to fire your training staff too. And I mean, LeVar said it. LaMelo is gonna be the best basketball player, but you can't win with him being your leader. I think that he quietly. Charlotte is in such a different situation. I guess New Orleans is too, where you're not a big market, so people are not really interested in going there. So you kind of got to keep what you have. But what you have is not really much. Actually, that's not true. I think that New Orleans has a very good roster. They're just all hurt.
Yeah, the whole team got hurt. They got hurt like everybody else that we talk about. The team got hurt.
Right. If you could move Zion and get your guys healthy, you surely got a team. But the whole team being hurt don't help you out.
Can we talk about the Suns next? Because since we're talking about people that get fired.
Oh,
Griffin, we knew that he was gone. We knew he was gone because you underachieved with what was your master plan. When your master plan doesn't come together, it's over with.
But I mean,
that was that.
If you could have DeJounte and CJ, and even after you traded Ingram, you got what's his name? Trey Murphy. Even Yves Missy. At one point this season, remember, he was looking to be rookie of the year earlier. Like they put together a decent team that just everybody got hurt. Yeah, if you could trade Zion and get like a legitimate, not even like a killer for, just a good enough guy, you'd be fine. You know what? I don't think that they do it, but I think even like a guy who I don't think is the best and kind of expensive, and a guy like Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant would have been an excellent addition to this roster. He'd been perfect.
I mean, yeah. Then you got basically interchangeable Trey Murphy. That's
Right.
which is what Brandon Ingram. He's Brandon Ingram. So yeah,
Right.
would you pay more for Brandon Ingram? Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, you extending Zion, who played a decent amount of games this year, but that hamstring just
no. Last year he played 70 games. This year he played 30 games.
That hamstring is just it is not getting better. Whatever it is,
no,
every time he
hamstring,
plays,
bro, it ain't the hamstring, it ain't the hamstrung. It's he fat. Let's keep it real. You weigh too much. And if you don't lose any weight, if you don't lose no weight, there's nothing we can do for you. And you know what he want to do. And it ain't losing weight.
He's on number 2. Breaking news.
Oh, Lord. What?
Hall of Famer Joe Dumars is a serious front runner to become the lead basketball executive at the New Orleans Hornets. Yes. As we just talked about David Griffin being fired.
Yeah, they really
that is a man who has a good track record.
Absolutely. He's in like NBA operations, so I'm sure he probably has at least a decent relationship with the majority of the team. So when you're talking trades, deals, etc., and he's from Louisiana. Dumars gonna trade Zion though. I'm gonna tell you, if I'm the GM, that is my first order of business. Who wants?
They're looking like Trump on an executive order,
right? And I'm
Zion to Utah.
To El Salvador, hell, I don't care where he goes. Get the hell out of here.
That's not funny. That's not funny, but it's funny. That's terrible.
You know what? That is the title. Zion to El Salvador.
And then had the girl fight.
Right.
But yeah, let's talk about the Suns real quick. My bad. Let's talk about the Suns. I took you off your screen. Let's talk about the Suns real quick.
Oh, no.
They fired Mike Budenholzer after finishing 11th, which I don't know if that's his fault. I don't know if he was the one that signed off on the trade for Bradley Beal.
No.
But they've fired Monty Williams after going to the finals. They fired Frank Vogel, and then they fired Budenholzer, 23, 24, 25. What's interesting is they fired Monty Williams the year they had KD, Booker, Chris Paul. No, yeah, KD, Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. Is that right? And they only played 8 games together. And they were 8-0. So they small sample size, but the games also weren't that close.
Right. This is another issue where you can't fire everybody. Either, and I think that the firing of Monty was bad. You should have kept Monty, and you should have moved Ayton. But they did both. And that's where I think you went wrong. And clearly because you've been looking for coaches. Now, the other part is, I know that this is technically a Suns firing, but also Coach Budenholzer, as we know, is not interested in a rebuild. And you're going to move Beal, and there's already at least plausible talk of moving KD. You might have fired him, but he might have also been ready to go. I think that he's another guy.
Back to Phoenix.
He could be or Cam Johnson, or both. But for me, I think that Budenholzer, the Grizzlies have an opportunity now to get a good coach. If you didn't like Taylor Jenkins for whatever reason, you can backfill today with Budenholzer, who's a 2-time coach of the year, Mike Malone's a champ. Oh, Budenholzer's a champ too. They're tough, fiery guys who know how to win with a roster that's that's already put together.
Budenholzer wouldn't have left Milwaukee if it wasn't for off the court unfortunate events that kind of just sapped his will to coach. He had Milwaukee moving.
That's another part you might have to take into consideration. Can he, after you have certain things happen, it's kind of like, Monty Williams, he coaching high school or private school basketball now. I think, depending on what.
He said, I'm done with it. Well, yeah. I got $100 and $200 million.
I'm the highest paid coach.
A lot of bad people.
I'm the highest paid coach, and I am not coaching there anymore, Detroit. And clearly that was the right decision. Congratulations on Detroit noticing that they made a bad decision and changing that, and that allowing them to turn their entire organization around.
Yeah. This Phoenix thing, I don't know how this plays out. I will keep an eye on it.
Oh, it's Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia he got to start listening to people.
No, we don't. Why does he? I'm pretty sure he got his billions by not listening to people.
Right. Yes. At Rocket Mortgage, a mortgage company. I think he played a little bit of basketball, so I think that he believes that he's a basketball person. You firing 3 coaches in 3 years, you look stupid. Getting the hell out of here, son. You get first one-way trip. First class. No. No. Oh. That's what I was actually looking for. In surprising news to me, I thought he was on the verge of possibly getting fired.
Nope.
The Portland Trailblazers.
We made this happen.
The Portland Trailblazers have decided to extend Chauncey Billups on a multi-year contract. I don't think that Billups is a bad coach. I don't know exactly what the Portland Trailblazers are doing, though. They don't really seem to have a plan.
I disagree there. I think that you get signed like this because you have a plan. I think he sold them on a plan, sold them a dream.
Okay, maybe I'm just not used to black coaches getting this much of an opportunity.
Yeah. They lucked up or not lucked up and got Denny, who's coming off the ACL, whose stock was a little
I've been
down.
Talking to Wizards fans. I said, boy, I think y'all sold too early on that, boy.
I think he averaged like 20, 10, and he's like doing Josh Giddey numbers almost. And we'll
17, 7, and 4, but that's not
for
really
the year.
indicative of the whole
he's averaging like 23, 12, and 8. And I'm telling y'all, I joke around
6'9",
but with him and what's the other one? The other guy that plays on their team. It was against the Hawks.
Anthony Simons.
Them two were going back and forth. Huh? No. Anthony Simons hurt. Is Shaedon Sharpe? Was it Shaedon Sharpe? Yep. Him and Shaedon Sharpe were going back and forth against the Hawks. It was just them two. They're the only ones that scored in double digits. And it was Chauncey Billups and them two huddled up every time out. And they come out and they would score. And I was like, I think we just got Chauncey Billups extended. We just got him shout out to the Hawks. Them two cooked us and got Chauncey a new contract.
Now, I do want y'all, I do have to bring this part up, is I tried to tell y'all when he was in Israel, hey, this is probably the guy who we need to be interested in. And the Wizards made it so bad, they almost made me not believe in the man no more. He played versus the Bulls, 37 points on 12 or 25. 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Game before that, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. Versus us, this is the game you're talking about. 32 points on 21 shots, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals.
Go look at that game. It was only 2 of them that scored in double figures, I believe. Him
versus the Knicks, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Kings, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Y'all
Yeah,
really
we got him.
the Wizards are a black hole, and I think that's probably what's going to happen to Alexander Sarr. To be completely honest with you, is even if you're good, that ain't going to be a place that's good for you.
Oh no, they got two players. Yeah, Kamara went off in the fourth quarter, and Klingon and Benton got to 11 points off free throws. Denny and Shaden Sharp had 32, 15, and 10, and 33 and 10, and beat the Hawks by themselves.
Hey, DeAndre Ayton, you out of there, my boy. Again. You gone.
Be in Atlanta.
No. I hate it when we say stuff like that because it's not like we want him. It's just it's like
his skill set fits what we need.
Nah, dog.
On offense. Defense.
I mean, and the thing is, he's not a bad defender. He just don't have something. He's just empty calorie to death to me. He just, I ain't gonna say that online. It just he looks the part, but he's not the part. Donovan Clegan has taken his job.
Zachary Richard.
Hey, bro, get at the end of the bench, and we're getting rid of you. And you're too expensive to be a backup. We need that money.
You want to talk about Giddey or the Pistons?
Oh, not that. This Josh Giddey, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, only players with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists. OKC, you should have kept him. If you lose him at the end of the season, maybe that's a different thing. But I'm a firm believer that Josh Giddey on this OKC team makes it. I mean, we see how good they are now.
Do they get Hartenstein if they keep getting?
I think so. Yeah, because I think that now what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to understand that you don't end up with Caruso long term because you probably gonna just have to let Giddey walk. I'm okay with that if I win a championship.
Giddey's probably off the bench on that OKC team too. So let's take his real contract that they just signed into. Is it?
Oh
no.
That doesn't kick in until next year. Right now, he is $8 million.
That doesn't matter. Would you pay that amount of money for a guy coming off the bench?
$8 million?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, they just signed him an extension where he was it $88 million over 3 years or something like that. 90 million. It's basically $90 million over 3 years.
Yeah, but that doesn't kick in this year. I'm trying to win today.
I think I don't want to bring it up because we're talking about basketball. But the off the court stuff, you were forced to make a decision right then and there what you were going to do. You were going to ride this out, pause if necessary, and you were going to figure out how they were going to handle the whole situation off court, or you could just wash your hands of it.
You took the easy way out. It might cost you in the long run.
Why?
Because I mean, Trump is the president, bro.
So you saying you could have just been quiet and let the scandal blow?
Chicago loves this guy. What you talking about?
Yeah, Chicago ain't OKC when it comes to winning right now. Like OKC,
I'm gonna say I think they should have just played the cards they was dealt and kept playing. I'm not folding. Hey, because winning fixes everything. And if they would have won a championship, that would have been an afterthought.
No, I disagree. I think that you would have had people showing up at the parade protesting. I think that.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Finals.
Show up. They showing up to what parade, Reggie?
Yeah, they won a championship. I think that winning a championship, they picked to win a championship, whether he was there or not.
Yeah, okay. You can show up to any of my championship parades with a sign that says anything. Because we are champions.
Okay. Obviously, they think different. I see why they did it. And I also don't think he would have these stats in OKC. Remember, he'd be behind Shea.
Yeah, but I'm just cutting. I'm not. There's less time. There's no Alex Caruso time. And Casey Wallace, it's less of you too, bro. And I like you. And I like your brother.
But he's not getting 1,500, 500. Shea averaged 30 minutes a game. He would get possibly 500, 250, 250.
No, Casey Williams. Casey Wallace is playing 27 minutes on this team. Alex Caruso.
That's because of injuries.
Alex
fully
Caruso's,
healthy, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do 1,500, 500.
Alex Caruso is playing 20 minutes. Yeah. I can find 25 minutes between, and I'm short. I'm probably gonna shorten the rotation anyway. But yeah, I can find a way to get him 25
I think he's
minutes.
good. I think his stats are bloated because he's in Chicago. I think he's good. I'm not saying he's not a.
So once again, we broke.
But him being in OKC, his stats wouldn't be this. We wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff that he's doing. This triple-double, averaging triple-double and 1,500. He's doing that partially because he's good and partially because he's in Chicago.
If we're 500 at the midway point of next season, are you interested in a Giddey for trade?
Would I be personally?
Because he could then you don't. Okongwu's being 6'8" is much less of a problem then.
Yeah, I mean, you trying to talk me into what you want to do, but I don't.
I mean, because I don't know if you can find a guy that makes a little bit less or equal to Trey. I don't know what Trey's value is either. I don't think people are jumping out at the opportunity to trade for Trey either. Unless you like Charlotte.
I think San Antonio is still in on Trey because De'Aaron Fox needs an extension still.
No, I don't think. I think they should be out on Fox. I'm gonna go to that's my new thing. Trade Fox. Castle is your point. Let him run the point. Let him and Wemby.
You don't have to trade. He needs an extension. He maybe have one more year. So if San Antonio can do it, I'm sure they would trade De'Aaron Fox for Trae Young because they were trying to see what we were going to do this year with Trae Young before the De'Aaron Fox trade.
34 million. Fox. I mean, Fox is cheap now. Honestly, you probably only have to pay Fox what you pay in trade right now, which in 2 or 3 years is consignment. That's the issue with Trey is if you sign him, you got to sign him to that super duper max, and that's that like $60 million boy. But we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. That concludes a very in-depth basketball conversation.
Before we go, shout out to the Pistons. I love y'all for being petty. Y'all are doing the ticket restrictions. You know that the New York Knicks travel well. Y'all are facing them in the first round. And they have decided that they are prioritizing tickets to Michigan, Ohio, Ontario, and whatever else is up there in the Great Lakes. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know.
The thing with that is, I get that, but one thing is, every city you go to, it's a ton of people from New York anyway. So you still could end up playing an away game just due to the sheer amount of people in your area that are New York fans.
I don't think there's that many New York fans. Ontario would be the wild card. I don't think there's many New York fans in Ohio. I don't think there's many New York Knicks fans. I think they're there, but I think if you were to open it up to everybody, I think you probably have a 60-40 crowd.
Yeah, then you really allowing chaos. Yeah, you're doing the best you can to manage this, which is already difficult to manage. I remember when I used to play, when I used to work with the Tampa Bay Lightning and they play any of those teams, you play the Detroit Red Wings, the entire pavilion is nothing but Red Wings people. You're like, damn, No, we live in Florida. We live in Tampa.
I'm a Falcons fan. You live in a tourist destination city, like all of them come. Every team comes. They come deep. Every team comes to Atlanta deep.
I will tell you, the Lions fans this year. Oh, I was 50-50 in that stadium. I was low-key
it would be. They thought they was winning. They thought they was winning. They thought they was like, yo, we got it.
They came in there wrecking shop. I was like, oh, y'all really, like, they had a full weekend down here. Everybody from Detroit was in Houston. Jersey on, Buffs on.
Yeah. But good.
We will be right back. And we won't fumble like JD Vance. Don't embarrass
football
yourself.
On the way. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. Hit the link. Let us know in the comments where you're from. We'll be right back.
Hey, SplashCast listeners, are you ready to dive into some exciting opportunities with us? The SplashCast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment of episode 185 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. 186 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. Our football segment. Man. Got a few things we're going to talk about today. Before we get started, I put this on the list because I did want to send this out to the family of Kyron Lacy. RIP, T's and P's to them. Kyron Lacy passed away. We won't go discuss the details. Just know that these athletes are under immense pressure all the time. And now that they're pretty much considered semi-pro, it's basically being a professional as a young adult or as a child. He had a lot going on, and unfortunately he passed away. He was supposed to be a top 2 second round draft pick. Jaden Daniels has said things. Shout out to the coach from LSU. I can't think of his name right now. Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly, he had his speech about Kyron Lacy came back up and resurfaced after all of this happened, and it was one of the most moving speeches. It was almost prophetic and scary.
Yeah.
But I did want to say T's and P's for that.
Thoughts and prayers to the Lacy family. Thoughts and prayers to the other family that was involved in this. And that's what I took from the Brian Kelly conversation was this kid was struggling with a lot even before that awful situation. And he was doing his best to try to manage it to the best of his ability. Right. And then the unfortunate situation happens after the season ends. And
he saw his dream slipping away. And he didn't see a way out.
Right.
So it was just unfortunate. And again, T's and P's to the Lacy family.
Immediately makes me think about Ruggs. And it's like there is a hope that Ruggs is going to have a future and have a life. Unfortunate what happened, terrible, what was done, but his life ain't over. You get a second chance. We all ask for grace and forgiveness and mercy and just wish things had gone differently.
Yeah. T's and P's. We're going to try to move on. But just know, in all seriousness, we love the family and we send love to the family and to the community as well. That's JD Vance doing JD Vance things. So Ohio State visited the White House this year.
Look at this fool.
JD Vance broke the trophy as he tried to hold it up.
This is so representative of
And then
our.
he broke it again. They took it.
You know who he looks
I know,
like the
if
more
you're
that I
listening.
watch this? First of all, I look at Trump in the back. Like, look at his
Griffin.
head. No,
He was like Peter Griffin.
Michael Scott. This is the most Michael Scott thing that you could do. Is, I broke the trophy.
Yeah, from The Office.
And then after, I'll hold
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
is holding that thing like a Dundee Award. Oh, that could be. That's
very, very much so. Like, hey, still a nice trophy though. Look, don't notice that it has fallen apart and it fell on the ground and all of that. Very nice trophy. Now, I will also say, I don't think that he knew that bottom part was your trophy. It's just, I don't know if this thing is actually, I think it's two pieces. I don't think that it's one piece. And I think that he assumed that it was one piece instead of two pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm talking
Nobody
about.
warned them. They didn't practice this at all or nothing.
Wait. Go back. Please look at the people in the back. Oh my God. Right here. Oh, that boy dropped the damn trophy we just won. You know how much money we had.
I thought it was a prank at first. You know, they always prank them and say they dropped the trophy and broke it or something.
Oh, no. I think that this is not only hilarious, I think it's very representative of the country as we currently move forward. I don't think there's a better representation of America than this moment. And notice Trump not doing nothing, watching you look stupid.
Not to make it political, but Brad, this is a microcosm of what we're going through right now.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Obama wouldn't have did that.
Nope. Obama would have rehearsed it.
Right.
Is the trophy one or two pieces? I don't want to drop it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have somebody else hold the trophy up. Imagine if Obama dropped the trophy.
No, that would never in a million years happen.
What would the backlash be if he dropped the trophy?
There wouldn't be any backlash because it would never happen. That is it's a fallacy. There's not a world where that could be an option. In a world where things should not be an option. Baby girl. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been a Falcons fan a long time. And for you who are having the audio experience, y'all are missing out on this lady in this fantastic Falcons dress. Now, ma'am, you got to know your station in life. There are certain things that you can do, and there are certain things that you surely cannot do. If you wear an Atlanta Falcons dress to your wedding, there are going to be a lot of really bad jokes. And I honestly am okay with that because I feel like you earned it, ma'am. You can't do this. This is embarrassing. You're gonna get every 28-3 joke. You're gonna get that this marriage ain't gonna last long because y'all ain't never won nothing.
I had all the jokes too, and I'm a Falcons fan.
Right.
All the jokes about this wedding dress.
You have to. It's not like we live in a world where we don't have common sense. We see it more than anybody else, bro. Poor decision. The poor decision, honestly.
Yeah, it is. We jumped to the Falcons. I actually wanted to talk about, before we head down the NFL road, the Nico Amaliva stuff. So if I'm assuming that y'all that are watching this or that are tuned in are know about sports and follow the NFL. I mean, follow college football. Nico Amaliva was the starting quarterback for the University of Tennessee. He signed a large NIL deal in high school, one of the first of its kind. And then that got him to commit to Tennessee. And I think he was scheduled to make $2.5 million this year off his NIL deal. And he came to renegotiate and wanted $4 because the incoming freshman quarterbacks for their NIL deals were getting $4+. And he decided to hold out. I'm not attending any meetings. I'm not attending any practices. I'm not attending nothing. And Tennessee said, okay, well, the door is back there. You can leave. He entered the transfer portal. There's a lot of things to this story. First off, it was Oregon's coach, Dan Lanning, who was a former Georgia Bulldogs defensive coordinator, who told Tennessee's coach, hey, Nico is trying to get a new deal. And that's how Tennessee found out, because they never knew before, which means that Nico was reaching out to teams via his agent without going into the portal.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
very interesting. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I think that's something that they did not foresee.
He that you know what they call that? That old Atlanta Falcons special. Do a little tampering, baby. And what can we get with what we got?
And
that's our ball game. What you talking about?
This opens up or brings to light a lot of things in the NIL. I think this may be the situation that burst the pimple, per se. Like they've been working as the Wild Wild West for so long. There's been no rules. As you say all the time, this is college football. This is your fault that you're going through this. And I think at this point, when you look at the way NIL is set up, when you look at the way NIL is set up, it's set up basically as a bunch of one-year contracts, right? LeBron made this famous in the NBA. I'm gonna sign a 2-year deal, and every time the salary cap go up or the highest player gets paid, I'm gonna get paid that, or I'm gonna leave. And I think I'm not saying this is LeBron's fault. I'm saying it's a very similar philosophy, and yes. I think you're gonna have to figure out a way. And I think when we get to football, you're starting to see all of these players come back in these different positions. You're gonna have to figure out a way for people to honor the contract. Why? I think there's two fallouts, but I'll let you say something real quick. I think there's two fallouts of this, positive and negative.
Once again, first thing, been saying since we first started podding, colleges, you should guarantee your scholarship for 4 years. You started this. You did this. You said, oh, every year is a 1-year renewal. Then okay. That's perfectly fine. But it's not fun when the rabbit got the gun. The rabbit has the gun now. You set these terms and conditions. You set this precedent that we will reevaluate you at the end of every year. Well, me too. I'm going to reevaluate this contract at the end of every year too. And I saw Carson Beck get paid $10 million. Let me tell you, if he get 10, I want my money. It's that simple. And let's
Carson
be real.
Beck ain't 5 times better than me.
Hell no. He ain't 1 time better than me. We finna do some fractions around here. Honestly, we finna move the decimal. So no, I want my money. And that's the reason I don't feel bad. I'm not mad. I also watch it, of course, like I always do. I guess one of the things where players begin to get upset, and he's not the only person in Tennessee, I guess, who kind of used the same strategy, was they didn't want to play in the bowl games and the playoff games. They didn't want to be, because you paid them. The NIL is for a regular season. Well, bro, I don't work for free. And once the guy said it, because you know how some of them are, it was kind of like, what do you mean this athlete has the audacity to want to be paid for extra games? Well, when you go to work, you get paid for every day you go to work, right?
When you a coach, you get a bonus for making the playoff, don't you?
Exactly. So I think that's going to have to be a part of it too, is, yeah, if we go to X, Y, and Z, I want a bonus. I'm not going to, especially like, I know it's too much of sports. They believe this is an opportunity. You should be thrilled to be here. This is fun. This is a game. No, it ain't. It is my livelihood. And if I get hurt in one of these games, I work for free. Y'all gonna tell me to go to hell.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And that was my one thing, that the positive. You're gonna have to figure out a way to guarantee the 4-year or at least a 2-year contract, which means you're gonna have to guarantee the scholarships. And if you can, which is something that the athletes have been begging for, which is why part of the reason why they wouldn't let them unionize was because they were going to demand 4-year scholarships. That was one of the things. Call back to 2 years ago with Northwestern when they tried to unionize. That was one of the things that they were going to talk about, was going to 4-year scholarships.
And I think that I want to be real with this too. Hey, college players, I know y'all listening. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe, tell somebody about the pod. You're in a space, it's like the .com era where if you just bought a website, you could get rich. This is where we are in NIL. But like everything, eventually, this too shall come to pass. And with what Nico has done, may or may not have expedited the regulation.
Over with. That's what my second point was. That was it. It's over with. Well, you ain't gonna be able to. All of this. He is ruining what KG said about. Was it Jimmy Butler? Yep. When he said you are ruining everything that we fought for. The difference is they ain't fought for nothing yet. You're ruining everything we fought for with the guaranteed contracts because you keep screwing everybody over. That's what's about to happen in NCAA football.
Now I think
you are about to lose. I think you are about to lose all the leverage. You about to lose all the leverage because one thing that NCAA football is in the South.
Right.
And as we can see, there's a certain demographic of people that will literally hurt them own selves to hurt you.
Right.
And they are going to do that.
Now, that's the reason I'm saying, do not let them people trick you into anything other than having a union. You have to have, like, don't. Because
they're going to get a commissioner, let me tell you.
Right. And if they get a commissioner, I think that y'all got rich. A lot of y'all got rich. And I think there's still space for y'all to stay rich. Not as rich as like Carson. I don't know how many more Carson Beck $10 million Miami seasons you'll get. There's going to be some regulations. Best thing you can do is keep you a union so that they have to negotiate with your union and not with you. Y'all negotiate collectively. I think that's going to be your bet. If there's anything I can impart, you better make that happen. Or otherwise, they're going to be right back to robbing y'all again, for sure. And if you don't learn from it, it'll happen to you again, for sure.
Well, they're going to learn because they're not going to keep losing this money. Although college football, because there's no rules, is basically a bottomless pit of money.
Right.
So they'll have to figure it out. But I'm not going to say.
And remember, the college football coaches have an association. They got a little union too. Yeah. You better.
Which is why I don't really feel any time. I was originally like, damn, Nico, this looks bad. Like, bro, you ain't. But when I kept looking at, what I did was I went back and Googled different coaches that had left after like 1 or 2 years. Right. And then also, my North Star or my 000 on the graphing paper is on the plane, on the Cartesian plane. There it is. My 000 on the Cartesian plane is Tyrone Willingham. If y'all keep screwing over these coaches and voiding stuff to get other people after they win, if I'm the player, y'all don't have any loyalty. There's no loyalty to the coaches. The coaches get to leave whenever they want. They get to leave, and
if you believe that there is some loyalty, then you are a fool. They're not loyal to anybody but that little trophy that JD Vance just broke. That's it. If it can get them a championship, they will throw you under the proverbial bus, never to be seen or heard from again. That is the reason. You can walk away with anything. Guarantee me 4 years of education at your institution. Period. I don't got to be on the football team. That's fine. But you're going to pay for me to go to school.
Yeah.
So at least if you're going to fire me, I'm going to get another job.
We talked about the HBCUs last week about Grambling talking about, look, if you guys poach my players, you need to pay me a cancellation fee, or you need to pay me a fee. You are going to have to add some regulation. This will be my last thought, and we can move on to the rest of the NBA. NFL.
I got one,
but this will be you have to have some regulation, And the thing with NCAA football, which is why y'all are seeing why this was so difficult to implement, is because it's easier to regulate 32 teams in the NFL. It's hard to regulate 114.
Right.
Well, it's actually more than that because that's just Division One. You
right.
got 2, 3 FBS. They getting people from the mining school. Like that's a school of mining. I didn't even know that existed until a football player was drafted there. So like you have to regulate 500 plus schools. That is difficult. And now we're seeing why it was difficult. And you say it's gonna have to come to an end soon. I don't see how you regulate this.
I like the players to have the opportunity to kind of move around, but I'm also not in love with 4 or 5 schools in 4 or 5 years either. That is crazy. I think that you should get at the most 2. If you're asking for a third, then you need to be like a graduate transfer. It means that you graduated from the school, or the school, and really there should be some arbitration between the school and the player and someone else. So if we're going to give you a third one, we need to get this approved. Because all these schools every different year is crazy. Even Haley Van Lith, it's a lot of different places to go to college. It's a ton. Now, I think that if the coach leaves, then yeah, you can get then we're dealing with something a little bit different. All right, well, they left in me too. I came here under the guys that I was playing for this guy. He's gone.
I think they got that part right, actually. I think they got that part right. If a coach leaves, you have 60 days to jump into the portal if you decide to leave. And that also forces the school to make a decision. Because if you don't, then I'm leaving. And I think they got that part right.
That's the biggest thing for me. But this is, you are really becoming a professional if you change teams every year. Because you're not going to 4 different colleges is, you got, like, think about it from that point of view. That's absurd. The hell your transcript look like? You know how hard it is to transfer from one school and think that them
I came here to play football. I ain't come here to go to school.
Okay, then.
Now that they paying me millions of dollars?
That's the reason I'm saying that this is becoming more and more professional. And I'm okay with that. But when you become professional, you have more responsibilities. It ain't no, hey, I'm a kid, I don't want to go to media day or I don't want to talk to the media after a loss because I'm hurt, I'm butthurt. When you're a kid and you're not a professional, all right, he was immature. If I pay you $10 million, we get your ass up there on that stage.
And they are, the playbook is going. Nico's leaving. Now they're releasing all of the dirt that they had on him, of course. But there is the credence to that, where you, like you said, you are professional, dog. You got to sign these. That comes with it. You see Jerry Rice and all of the legends, or you go see some of the current players, and you see them in them warehouses where they get sponsored for $5 million. Yeah, they're gonna sponsor you. We have a warehouse of memorabilia that you have to sign. We have 50,000 fans that you have to meet every year. Right. That's what you have to do.
It's a part of your job.
You're not willing to do it. You gotta. Hey, bro, you. This what y'all wanted. There's give and take on each side. Give and take on each side.
Yeah. With the more autonomy, yeah, it comes heavy as the head. You got the responsibility, big dog.
Yep. But we'll follow this because I think this, like I said, this is a turning point. I think it's the fork in the road for the NCAA.
If Petre goes somewhere and wins, then this is not nearly as big of a deal. I mean, not Petre. I'm a leaver. If I'm ahead of myself, if he goes somewhere and wins, this will be forgotten. Now, I did also hear that because
he's gonna go to Oregon. Oregon reported it, and now he's one of the top 3: Oregon, Ohio State, and North Carolina.
No. North Carolina is out. Bill Belichick, they said no.
Well, maybe it's Colorado. I think Colorado.
That's what I was about to say. Boy, if Dion gets I'm a leaver and makes him I'm a winner.
But he got Julian though. I don't know if you can do that with Julian there. Julian about to start. He's the starter, I think. Tennessee showing
that is a good problem for Deion to have. Is to have. I think that would take him to 3 quarterbacks because you got the other kid too. Let me tell you, you need a quarterback, Deion, and that's what I said. Replacing Shador is going to be his biggest feat.
It'll be interesting, and I think that'll also all of those players that you talking about. If one of them decides to leave, there was one school that was in the top 5 for all of them. That was Georgia. What does Georgia need?
And that's the other part is I can always go to Georgia, and they gonna take me.
Yeah, especially Julian. He from Carrollton. Yeah, come on. We how much you need?
Right.
Listen, we'll pay you and Georgia. I think this may be I think it might have been an April Fool's joke, but they are working with Uber. They are working with Uber. Bro, so I can keep y'all out of trouble.
They need to take them licenses. Just don't know. You ain't had no license. Bro, you can't drive nowhere. Don't it's like Hampton. Don't even bring your car to campus. Don't bring it. Don't leave it at home. You're not allowed. Coach, I'm a senior. No, you still can't drive. Walk only.
Back to the NFL. Jalen Petrie got extended. He's the slot corner for the Houston Texans. I believe he got $40 million. Which is I think a high for Nickelback, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So shout out to Jalen Petrie. Texans always seem to always make the right moves. I think the Larry Tunsil trade might hurt him a little bit.
That's what I see as a strategy here is we have our biggest asset, Laramie Tunsil. We can't pay all these guys because we salary cap. They flip Laramie Tunsil into basically another draft next year. So they're going to draft them twice as many players. I'm going to go ahead and pay the secondary. They paid Petrie. What was the other dude's name? I can't think about who they paid. He got paid like 2 weeks ago.
Secondary?
Yes.
Derek Stingley Jr.
Yes, Derek Stingley Jr. So I'm paying these guys because this is what I would have paid Laramie Tunsil. And I'm going to have to draft well this year. And then next year, I'll give myself several cracks at trying to replace Laramie Tunsil. There's only so much money to go around. So I see what they're doing. We've identified guys who we like. Next up, I think to be paid is probably Will Anderson. Go ahead and get him while you can get him. Yeah, he is it. You already paid.
I think they already paid Daniel Hunter too.
I was about to say, yep, you paid him already. And if you can say you have 3 solid defensive backs and then 2 really good ends, you can kind of put filler in the middle, but you won't get BD. And you're going to have a hell of a pass rush no matter what with those guys that you've already paid. Now you just got to keep drafting.
They're set up. Defensively, they're set up. They got to rebuild that offensive line a little bit. CJ was running for his life a little bit at the end. I think that was their weakness. But, and of course, they're probably going to – now they're talking about getting Isaiah Bond at the slot because Tank Dell keep getting hurt. And Isaiah Bond ran a 4.29. So you go from ultra fast to super fast, right, which is fine. But they are set up with all these draft picks. If they can get an offensive line, which is what I retool, y'all gonna be mad, but they're gonna be right back. They're gonna be right back. They're gonna be right back.
Tunsil went to Chicago? No, he went to the Commanders.
Yeah.
You also kind of looking like, you think the Eagles still gonna be better than them. You really praying for the fall off is what you're really playing for. And you're probably expecting a sophomore slump which really makes it where you can.
Who are you talking about?
The Washington Commanders, where Laramie Tunsil is. You think they probably have some negative regression? If they negatively regress, that draft pick next year might be a decent draft pick.
No. Laramie Tunsil being there, they're not thinking about a sophomore slump. They're thinking about the Eagles. We are trying to block these motherfuckers.
No.
Everybody.
I'm talking about the Texans. The Texans are probably betting on a sophomore slump because most quarterbacks in that sophomore year negatively regress. And if you're going to get their draft picks from next year, then that's the year to get it.
Sure, I think that's a gamble because the NFC
for sure.
is super weak. The whole NFC South, we can Tampa Bay minus Tampa Bay, you can probably say is not better than Washington. They may be close. You're probably comparable. And then you got the NFC East, which is just Philly. You don't believe in Dallas. You may believe in Dallas. I don't know. I don't think Dallas is better than Washington at this point right now. And then you also have the New York Giants, who are years away from being able to compete.
They're not anything
Washington.
anywhere to anybody. But
so then you got the NFC North, who no quarterback, Jordan Love, the Lions in Chicago. So that's probably your biggest are
we not as good as
person?
Are we not as
NFC
good
West? We don't.
Are we not
as
good as the Commanders with Michael Penix?
Are we not as good as the Commanders? We might be defensively. I think not to spiral back into the Falcons, but I think this year could be the year that we shock a lot of people.
Right, because I was going to say
winning our division. I think we could be this year's Commanders or better.
That was my thing. Is I wanted to say that are the Commanders better than the Bucs? They beat the Bucs. So I gotta say at this point the Commanders are better. Especially with the addition of Laramie Tunsil. But we with Michael Penix, I'm uncertain. I don't love that we may not be better than the Commanders, but I'm also not 100% sure if I know that or not.
We're not better than them right now because our defense is too there's too big of a question mark. We got to replace our D tackle. We got to figure out the defensive edge, even though I think we're going to stay in house for a lot of them. And then we got to figure out the cornerback situation has not been, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm very underwhelmed with re-signing D. Alford, going with Clark Phillips, re-signing Mike Hughes to run the two cornerback.
Right, which means that we're probably not going
at somebody.
You really want Will from the Wolverines from Michigan. I like it.
They got us going with a DB in the second round and an edge or a D tackle in the first round. And then, but what I'm intrigued about with the Falcons in the draft is trading down. We've been linked. And of course, the draft is literally 11 days away. So it's a week away, essentially. We've been linked to trading up to the number 7 pick for Jalen Walker, to then trading down to like the number 22 or 23 and picking up a 3rd and a 5th round pick, picking up the picks that we lost, essentially. But in both of those scenarios, they have drafting either edge or it's either edge or corner. They don't have us drafting nobody else but edge or corner the first round.
I don't think that you can because you only sent. You didn't talk to any offensive players. I think that if you do that and then go get an offensive player, you look stupid. But
I said last week when they said we brought in Kelvin May. I feel like the more I read about that, and this is a callback to last week when I said the Falcons sneakily interviewed Kelvin Banks, who's the offensive tackle from Texas. I think that was just a ploy to make everybody else think, oh, I might need to trade up for him.
Jedi mind.
I think which
set a little trap,
because right after that they talked about trading down. Right after they talked about that, we pressed stop. The next thing I posted in the group was like, "Hey, the Falcons talking about trading down." I was like, "Oh, so that's what they're talking about with Kelvin Banks," because it didn't make any sense. So
yeah, if you only send defensive coaches to the combine and then you draft an offensive player, what you're basically saying is everybody who we looked at, nobody was good enough. That
there's not an offensive player in this draft that I feel that. Not one.
No,
I don't know of any surefire player on offense in this draft. Not one. That means that player that you drafted is surefire. That's something you don't even have to evaluate.
Cannot miss.
I don't see anybody in that league. On defense, you may have a couple.
Banks has to basically be Joe Alt for that to be okay.
Which I can't. And the only way I'd be cool with that is if he fell and we traded down.
Now, if he's Joe Alt, then it's like when you get Bijan, I'm gonna shut up. Well, shut up. I'm gonna just have to shut up, and I'm okay with sometimes. I'd rather be happy and silent than upset. And, yeah.
Well, we come to the end of episode 186. We got a couple quick things. Shout out to Patrick Peterson. He retired. He said he feels he could play. His statement was, I feel like I could play. I've done everything in football. I just don't want to play anymore. I feel you, big dog. I don't know if you can still play. But I do congratulate you on a wonderful football career. This is my sister's favorite player. He hosted her on her college visit to the athletic thing with my dad and my mom at Baton Rouge and at LSU. He's the man at Alabama.
Oh, and still to this day, Mr. LSU. Like, he's the guy.
So,
and I think that he could have played in a defense where he's not having to be the man.
Safety.
Yeah.
He could have Charles Woodson this out.
But bro,
he just said, I don't want to play no more.
I also understand, as a person who's gone to many a football practice, I don't want to go back to football practice.
Yeah, if I can just show up on maybe Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, little short shoulder pad, little install,
right,
a little walkthrough, and then play,
right.
I'm good. I got to go to summer camp 2 days, be away from my family for 4 months.
I don't know if I even want to eat like that and do to be in football shape is a lot of personal work. Do it for a long time, you won't be done with it.
Yep. And shout out to Dwight Freeney and Max Crosby. Dwight Freeney returns to his alma mater as the Syracuse player development role. Max Crosby as the assistant GM. As we told you, they are going to the semi-pro model, which is why I think legislation is coming down. When I say legislation, not from the Senate or anything, but from the powers that be in the NCAA, that these schools with the NIL and everything are adding these players for, I would say, expertise, but also to be mascots. You're seeing more and more players going to be the assistant GM, figurehead, be those guys for that. We talked about it in basketball. I think Terrence Mann is at Florida State. You have a lot of it going with football. So shout out to Max Crosby.
Professional ambassador. GM was that,
and
really
it's also getting them in the door for after playing.
Man, I don't think that. I don't know. I don't see Trey wanting to do that. I don't really see Terrence Mann necessarily want to do that, or Max Crosby. I think for them, number one, they all love their organization, and it's a way for them to kind of be at the forefront. And yeah, Max Crosby went to Eastern Michigan. If not Max Crosby, then who? Same thing with Trey. If not Trey at Oklahoma basketball, then who? Now, Terrence Mann, FSU actually got a bunch of guys, and they all the same size, and they all can play defense and offense. But I just think that's what it is. It's a way for you. Hey, y'all want me to be the assistant GM at Hampton? I'll do it.
Is this real?
Sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 186. Y'all can stay and BS with y'all. If you're listening to the playback and the recording, Norwood, you can take us out. But this I have to research this, but Trump just said a tweet about women voting, and it has to be fake. It has to be fake.
No, he said other thing about women before. We thought that probably crazy to say, but he said it. So cool.
I can't confirm if it's real, so I'm not gonna read it out loud.
We don't support that on our platform in the first place. But if he was wild and tripping, then he was wild and tripping.
Oh my God. He was wild and tripping if he said this.
Good.
He is tripping.
I hope he said it, and I hope that JD Vance retweeted it. And best of luck. With that being said, because I'm trying to get to it so fast. No, I'm looking. I mean, yeah, I want to jump him too. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I don't see it. I don't see anything inflammatory.
I just put it in a group. You can read it after we finish.
With that being said, ladies, hey, we got to be abreast of what's going on around here. You got to pay attention. Keep head on a swivel. With that being said, number one. Bravos win tonight. Mo Black baseball. Mo Black baseball. Bravos win. We win. You win. We win together. And we need to keep winning. I think that takes us to 5-11, which is better than 4-11. With that being said, number two, more Black Cowboys and Cowgirls. Y'all have actually listened, and there are a ton of Black Cowboys and Cowgirls everywhere, and now everybody does a trail ride. So I'd like to thank myself. Without me, none of this would have been possible.
Sure.
Who said it first? Well, I sound like my cousin Ray J.
Huh? You do. Sound like every Black uncle at the barbershop.
I am every Black uncle at every barbershop because I'm America's favorite uncle. Number three, the historically Black college university that your cousin went to, your auntie went to, you went to, the person used to laugh, Kiki in the back of church, send some money over there. The historically Black college university in your neighborhood. The one that you go to for homecoming, step shows, vibes, be around your people, whatever it is, send some money over there as well. The greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. All we asking for is $18.68 on behalf of the year that the university was founded. Thank you so much. That university being the Hampton University. I want to make sure you heard it. And also, before I get out of here, Brett Favre, they finna release a movie or something on him, a tell-all. How about you pay that money, Brett? Every time I see Brett Favre posted on any social media, I write under there, pay that money, Brett. Pay them people in Mississippi, they need that money. And Tennessee and North Carolina, pay them HBCUs. And that's all I got to say. And that's that on that. How about that?
I was about to say, cool. Always remember, like, follow, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Y'all make sure y'all tune in with us every Monday at 9 o'clock. We got the NFL draft coming up. And we should have a mock draft next week.
Or 20.
If I'm not mistaken. Ooh, next Sunday.
Correct, Armando.
Next Sunday, we will have the mock draft. You pick the date.
Right. I mean, yeah. Or me. But yes, that will happen. Outside of that, thank you guys for rocking with us. Adios, mi amigos. God is love. Until we meet again, y'all be safe.
Peace.
Produced by Creative Logic Solutions. Whether the project is big or small, let Creative Logic Solutions help bring your vision to life. Catch our latest episodes and stay updated with the world of sports by tuning in to the podcast live on Mondays or catch the re-air on Dive Team Media Network, where you can also check out other Dive Team Media content as well. For collaboration, booking information, or any other inquiries, visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com. And listen, share, and review is appreciated. Until next time.
What should they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Be here for it.